that's where it started.
Hello, this is Paul.
This is Laura.
And I'm Alton.
We are Team Derringer.
And you are listening to Derringer Discoveries,
where we take you, the listener, on an adventure.
a music adventure.
Kick up the dust as I walk through the fire. Gave you my love, just turned out as a liar. I'm walking on wire.
Listeners, as you know, Laura Derringer was missing from our recent episode on Bob Dylan, A Complete Unknown, with special guest Colin Gavin.
She was playing hooky.
She was playing hooky. But Laura's absence started a rumor mill, and people were wondering, had she departed for a competition?
Wait a minute, we have competition?
We have competition. We do have a few competitors. Aww. Was she refusing to renew her contract with Derringer Discoveries? Or the most interesting response was, has she joined a cult?
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
But listeners, we are here today to dispel the rumors and to respond to one listener from Italy.
Io sono Camilla from Rome. Dov'è Laura? Dov'è Laura? Lei è la migliore dei Derringer. Per favore, portatela indietro.
Once again in English, please.
Hey, what happened to Laura? Bring her back now. She's the best Derringer.
We are here to let you know that Laura is back with us. Laura, do you have anything to say about your absence?
All I can say that it may or may not have involved a visit to Derringer Towers. I'm going to leave it at that.
Man, we'll have to check the security footage.
You might want to do that.
Yes.
Might have been a little ninja running around up there.
Listeners, in this episode, we have Laura Derringer, Alton Derringer, myself, Paul Derringer. And we're trying something that we haven't tried for a long time. And we're trying to be interesting without a special guest or without a featured artist.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Hey, come on. This is going to be our most listened to episode.
There you go.
Maybe our last listened to episode.
Yeah, exactly.
You are listening to Derringer Discoveries.
With listeners in more than 30 countries.
We decided to each pick an artist that has captured our attention and to present that artist today. We've each decided on one artist, and we will only present 2 songs by that artist with a little caveat, but 2 songs. And we'll just see if we can help that artist reach new levels of fame as a result of being featured on this episode, or at least being talked about on this episode. Laura, since you were missing from the Bob Dylan episode, Alton and I flipped a coin, a 3-sided coin.
And you won every time.
Yep. We decided you should go first. So tell our listeners, Laura, who did you pick and why?
Okay, well, I am really excited to talk about this artist. And guys, the artist I have chosen is the tallest man on earth.
Love is sold from what I've heard, but my heart's learned to kill. Oh, mine has learned to kill.
No, I'm not talking about the one in the circus or the Guinness Book of World Records. Sorry, is it okay for a mom to tell dad jokes? Oh,
absolutely.
Sure, go for it.
Dad jokes are universal.
Yes.
I am talking about Christian Mattsson, a Swedish singer-songwriter. He's been around for a long time. He's been releasing music since 2006. And his vocal style is very often compared to Bob Dylan. Listen for yourself and let Team Derringer know what you think.
Yeah.
I sense a runner in the garden. Although my judgment's known.
And how I discovered the tallest man on earth, I was listening to my all-time favorite, John Hyatt, on a streaming platform.
And have a little faith in me.
And it had one of these quote-unquote, you might also like features.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I clicked on the tallest man on earth, and I have been a fan ever since.
Whenever you win and after laugh out here, what language do you dream and when you're drunk?
Yeah, no, that feature, that really does work then, Laura. It got you hooked.
It does, yeah.
And I understand you might be hanging out with the tallest man on earth. Is that coming up?
That is coming up. So one of the things that he is known for is his high energy live performances. Apparently he uses the entire stage.
Oh, where do my bluebirds fly?
2/3 of Team Derringer will find out April 6, 2025, when the tallest man on earth takes the stage at the National in Richmond, Virginia. So listeners, if you're within driving distance, come on out and join us and meet 2/3 of Team Derringer.
And listeners, I won't leave you in suspense. You're wondering, Laura is taking only one of the Derringers. And so obviously there's two left, Alton and Paul. And we decided not to invite Alton. So Alton's not coming with us. Alton, you have any comments on that?
Well, it is a work night, and I don't stay up as late as I used to, so I had to beg off on this one.
No, Alton was absolutely invited. It's okay if you don't go out on school nights.
That's right, getting too old for this stuff. Laura, which songs did you pick by the tallest man on earth?
So the album that was actually my introduction to the tallest man on earth was the 2010 release, The Wild Hunt. And my favorite track on that album is called The King of Spain.
I wanna be the king of Spain.
Give it a listen. It's a great, catchy song.
King of Spain.
That's The King of Spain by the tallest man on earth. And there is also a fantastic cover of Paul Simon's Graceland. And, we have a lot of discussions about covers. Are they good? Are they bad? The whole gamut.
What I found interesting about this cover is he released it as a single right around the time he released the album The Wild Hunt. However, it was not included on the album.
Here's a snippet of the tallest man on earth singing Paul Simon's Graceland.
I'm gonna Graceland. Memphis, Tennessee, I'm gonna Graceland.
My philosophy on a cover is if it's original, put your own spin on it, make it your own, then I'm open to a good cover. And this is good. So give it a listen.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about some covers in my segment. So
Ooh.
Hold on to your hats.
I will. I know that we were only supposed to talk about 2 songs, but I have to sneak a third in. Sorry, Alton.
You weren't here last time, so
I'm taking advantage of it.
Feel free.
So my all-time favorite song by the tallest man on earth so far is I'm a Stranger Now, and that's from his 2019 album, I Love You, It's a Fever Dream.
Whenever you wince and have to laugh out here, what language do you dream in when you're drunk? And feel just like a map.
Great song, high energy. I am hoping that he plays that at the April 6th show.
I'm a stranger now.
Well, when you're hanging out with him, Laura, you could just ask him, make sure he plays it.
Ooh, maybe he'll appear on a later Derringer Discoveries episode.
There you go, yes.
That would be cool.
I would love that.
When you were telling us what he was known for, I thought you were going to tell us he was known for being tall.
Actually, no, he's not. Paul.
Yeah. Do you know his height? Has he disclosed how tall he is? We'll find out in person. But
Mattson is about 5'7", and he has been known to say that his stage name actually started as a joke because of his stature. But he's also been known to go on to say that living up to a name like that would motivate him to write some really good music, and I think it's worked.
Hello there everyone, it's an early bird here from Italy. I listen to Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast.
This is Wilson Getchell. I front the rock and roll band Thirsty Curses. We're based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and you are listening to Derringer Discoveries.
All right, so Alton, what artist are you going to talk to us about?
Laura, just recently I stumbled upon this incredible band on social media. which is an odd place. I was always listening for music on Spotify and was hoping to run across kind of like you did with The Tallest Man on Earth. But these folks showed up in my Instagram feed. They've got incredible harmonies. Their musicality is top-notch. I was just blown away by their sound.
Wading through the river.
They describe their sound as, get this, stanky, funky junk, which I know, which is a kind of a blend of vintage vibes and contemporary music. They sound 70s rock, funk, and soul. They said some of their inspirations are Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, and some more contemporary acts like Paramore and Goose. Paul, you know who Goose is, right?
I actually do not. I'll have to let you tell me about Goose.
That's okay. I'll let you listen to them on Spotify. They're out of Atlanta, Georgia. Get this, they had over 300,000 followers on Instagram. And I think it's pretty amazing that they'd grown that much that quickly. And they've only released 4 songs. They put out a 4-song EP back in May of 2024. It's called Let's Go to Penelope Road.
Darkwood trees that make me think about growing up so fast.
And that's the name of the band, Penelope Road.
Pick yourself up off the ground.
So their highest streaming song, and I guess this will be my one pick because when I pick my 2, I will have covered half of their catalog. But their highest streaming song is Tired of Love, but get this, it has almost 1.4 million streams.
I'm so tired of love.
I know, isn't that amazing?
Yes, I love that.
My personal favorite off the EP is kind of a bluesy tune called Mercy.
So hear me cry, call out for mercy. I'm begging you, please. Oh, please. And if I'm
Now, Laura, we were talking about covers earlier. If you happen to scroll through their social media pages, you can hear them perform some really fantastic covers, including Don't Let Me Down by the Beatles. Paul was happy to hear that
was a
one.
good one.
They did another one, Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears.
Oh, great.
And this one made them TikTok famous. It was Rich Girl by Hall & Oates.
Oh.
I'm a rich girl, and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. Rely on the old man's money.
And so those are some pretty interesting choices for some guys that are in their early 20s. So let me tell you about the band. The band consists of Max Moore on lead vocals and guitar, Charles Eastman on lead vocals and keys. Their lead guitarist is Koan Roy Migu. Koan, apologies if I got your name wrong. James Kopp is on bass, and Anthony Smith is on drums. Listeners, Paul and I had an opportunity to catch Penelope Road's sold-out show here in Charlottesville. We caught it a couple of weeks ago. This particular venue that we go to, Paul and I, and even Laura has joined us for a few of the shows, it has recently rarely sold out, but man, these guys really packed it in. And Paul, while we were watching the show, you texted something to me and Laura. It was obviously a little too loud for us to talk, but you sent a text to us. Do you remember what it was you said in the text?
I was kind of quoting what they said about Bruce Springsteen, and I just texted, I am witnessing the future, and meaning I think that they are going to be bigger, and I would love to see, like 3 years from now, what we're saying about them and how they're doing.
Yeah, they really gave a fantastic show. And, you know, while we were there, Paul and I were sitting in the crowd and ended up meeting Charles. I mentioned him. He's the lead singer. We ended up meeting his sister and his father and his mother. We were sitting next to him in the crowd, so we got a chance to talk to his dad for an extended period of time. And, Paul, just to the left of you at the next table over were some folks from where?
They were from Wilmington, North Carolina, if I recall correctly. There were 4 of them, and they were very talkative with us. We helped them get some chairs, and that kind of started the friendship. And that's when they mentioned how far they had driven. And the reason they had to drive so far was because the shows that they wanted to go to were sold out. So they just kept going on the tour until they got to Charlottesville, and they finally got to see them. And Alton, as you know, Charles was talking to his dad while these people were talking to me, and I said, hey, I can make your day. I said, Charles, would you come over here and hear where these people came from to see you tonight? And next thing I know, they're taking pictures and hugging.
Yeah, Paul's showing his street cred there.
Yeah.
So, Paul, for our listeners that are not familiar with Charlottesville or Wilmington, North Carolina, about how far do these folks have to drive to see this?
They said 5.5 hours. Always wonder, because Alton, I know you could drive somewhere in 3 hours that takes me 6 hours, but so I don't know.
Derringer Airlines.
Derringer Airlines. But what they said was 5.5 hours. Does that sound about right from Wilmington to Charlottesville?
Yeah, I think so. You know, there was another group of folks that we ran into. It was some ladies that had driven down from Washington, D.C., which is about 2.5 hours away, for GNO. Laura, do you know what GNO is?
Girls' night out.
You got it.
You're supposed to go whoop, whoop after that.
Sorry, I've never been on one of those. You know, while they've been actively performing and gaining everybody's attention, they don't have a confirmed record contract yet. But according to Charles's dad, there may be one on the horizon, so fingers crossed there. All right. Laura, you've gone, I've gone. That only leaves one of us left. I guess that's Paul, so over to you.
Well, it feels good to go last. And what's interesting is I'm about to see Tallest Man on Earth with Laura. I just saw Penelope Road with Alton. So I have firsthand knowledge of both of those groups. Neither of you, however, are coming with me to see the band that I picked.
Waiting at the airport, lost and found. Watching machines push suitcases round and round.
And the band that I picked has almost, ready for this? Almost 7 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
Oh.
And they're coming through town. They're from Chicago, Illinois. They were formed in 2015. It was initially a solo project by guitarist and vocalist Lily Trifilio. And she went under the name Beach Bunny, and they became a full band in 2017. In 2018, they had a song that went viral on TikTok. It was called Prom Queen. It also charted. Prom Queen peaked at number 26 on the U.S. rock chart, and that was in 2018. Then in 2020, they had a song, Cloud 9, with the rock duo Tegan and Sarah. That peaked at number 11 on the U.S. alt chart and number 12 on the U.S. rock chart.
But when they love me, I feel like I'm floating. When they call me pretty, I feel like somebody.
And that was Cloud 9. It was also a TikTok viral sensation. But although I'm sure Alton will play some snippets of those two songs, those are not the two songs that caught my attention. I actually came on board with Beach Bunny in 2022 when they released their second album, Emotional Creature. And that's when I fell in love with them. The second album is filled with songs that I love. Now, I realize they're probably not targeting my age group, but they speak to me. Lily's voice, her vocal delivery, and her lyrics talk directly to me. But right now, her crowd is the younger crowd.
You're young at heart. We know.
I am definitely young at heart. So one of the two songs I'm picking is off of Emotional Creature from 2022. And by the way, I had a tough time narrowing it down to one song, but I decided to go with the song Karaoke.
At the studio, the music grows as you play. You say Tokyo looks the prettiest at the end of May.
By the way, guys, just so you know, I don't like karaoke as an activity, but I love karaoke as a song. That's Karaoke by Beach Bunny. For the second pick by Beach Bunny, I'm going to take you into the future. The song has come out. It was released before the album, but the album does not get released until the 25th of April, 2025. And the album is called Tunnel Vision, which is also a good song. But the one that I'm picking came out back in September as a precursor to the album. And this song really speaks to me. It's called Clueless.
Thought I'd be a different person, but it's just a different life. If I got married tomorrow, I'd feel like a teenage wife. I am older at the parties, thought that wouldn't.
And what I love about the song, when you listen to the lyrics, she's talking about how hard it is to grow up. And when I mean growing up, she doesn't talk about being necessarily a child, but to grow up from college age to a real adult. In the song, she talks about she can tell the difference between a 23-year-old and a 30-year-old. Those are two ages she actually gives in the song. And the way she can tell the difference is their outlook on life.
I can tell who's turning 30 versus being 23. Oh.
So I thought that was interesting.
I thought it might have been the Adulting 101 certificate.
It could be. And those are my two songs. So the second song is Clueless by Beach Bunny out of Chicago, Illinois. And I just want to say this as I close it up. I want to say, Beach Bunny, Lily, I will be in the audience. I hope I'm not your oldest fan, but if I am proud to be your oldest fan.
So, Paul, I've got one question for you. Does Laura know that you're eating up the Derringer Discovery's entertainment budget? 3 concerts, buddy.
Well, that's what the money's there for.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's there, I'm going to spend it.
I'm Clay Burot from Venezuela. I enjoy listening to Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast.
Hey, before we go, I think we would be remiss if we didn't share some exciting news. One of our good friends of the podcast, musician Bryan Cooper, has just released a fantastic 4-song EP called Cognition by Proxy. Bryan joined us back in 2023 on episode 50 on REM, so if you want to find out some more information about Bryan, definitely check out that episode. But this is an EP I think you will not want to miss.
What would you lose if it meant you could choose better company?
Paul, you've listened to it. I've listened to it. What did you think?
Yeah, it's a fantastic album. Bryan continues to impress me, and this album, he has hit the pinnacle. He has songs that I enjoy listening to nonstop.
You don't speak for me.
Bryan's been putting out some great music since 2022. He's putting out, as Paul said, some amazing tracks on a consistent basis. With each new release, his songwriting, production, musicality, each time they reach new heights.
A fool said to me,
it's really inspiring to see the growth that Bryan has had as an artist. So kudos, Bryan.
both hands up. This is an elite.
Listeners, if you haven't already, make sure to check out Bryan Cooper's latest EP, Cognition by Proxy. Trust us, you're going to love it.
I'll find out soon.
Let us know what you think. Drop some comments on this episode or reach out to us on social media.
Well, there you have it. That's our episode. And if you're listening and you say, hey, I could really make this episode better by being on it, well, you know what you need to do. You need to write us at feedback@derringerdiscoveries.com and let us know that you would like to be a guest.
Listeners, thanks so much for tuning in to this podcast. We'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the music that we covered in today's episode. As I mentioned, please leave us a comment or connect on social media. We're at Derringer Discoveries on Facebook and at Derringer Pod on Instagram, X, and Threads. Until next time, this is Alton Derringer.
I'm Paul Derringer.
And this is Laura Derringer.
And you have been listening to
Derringer Discoveries. All right.
All right, that's a wrap.
That's where it started, in your sister's
So is it tongue-in-cheek? How did he come up with a name for the band?
Alton.
Sorry.
We stumped her.
That's okay.
Put you right on the spot, didn't we?
I didn't know you were going to ask me that. What kind of fan doesn't know how the artist picked a name? Good grief. All right, so Alton, there's my take on the tallest man on earth. Who do you have for us?
Wait, did Laura go quiet?
No, did you go quiet?
Can you hear Laura?
I can hear Laura.
Can you hear me, Paul?
Huh, I can't hear anybody anymore. That is weird. Sorry, guys. Laura just suddenly went quiet, and so did you, Alton, so it's probably me, is what I'm figuring out.
No way.
All right, so you guys, you covered everything while I was offline.
We did. We talked all about you. I said, Laura, now's her chance. Yeah, that will not make it into the podcast.
Then in 2020, let me say it one time. Alton, good bloopers for you.
Do you remember the song?
That's horrible.
Okay.
Put you on the spot.
Sorry.
Isn't that horrible, Laura?
Yeah.
Now you've caught me off guard.
That's okay. I just remember you really, really liking the band.
Yeah. I mean, they could say, hey, Mom, Dad, I'm on Derringer Discoveries.
Lucky us.
Lucky us.